One of the esoteric things that is brought down in every tradition is to square the circle. You see. How does one square the circle? They've been trying that mathematically, they try it philosophically, esoterically. And the squaring of the circle is the fundamental thing in all life. How does one square the circle? Well, the first idea is that you have to get to the mathematics of it. Okay? And the mathematics of it is that the circle has the area. You see, it's the area. Because you can see that this area is a little bit greater in a square when you square the circle. So the circle goes by the area formulation of pi r squared. Now, the radius, therefore, would be 1/2 of the length of the side of a square. So we'll call that 1. So it's pi r squared. Or 1 is the r, 1 squared is 1, so it's pi. So it's pi. Now, it's brought down in the Talmud that pi is 3. You see. Why they do it that way? It's the whole number. It's really 3.14 or 22/7. And that 3.14 is a very big deal, which I can explain a little later, but the whole thing is here that pi is 3. So the circle relates to the number 3. Okay? Now, if you do the square, the area of a square, remember that if the radius is 1, then the side is 2, so it's the radius of the area of a square is side, so it's x squared. So if it's x is 2, then the area of a square is 4. So the area of a circle is 3. The area of a square is 4. So how do you square the circle? How do you get into this? How do you do this in life? Well, that's what Judaism is all about. Because the entire opus of Judaism is in the Tefillin. To tell you the truth, just for the record here, I prefer if men only listen to this. And the whole idea of Tefillin is the squaring of the circle. It's not different than the Kaaba, by the way, which means cube. See? Because there's a black stone inside the Kaaba, which is actually smooth and round. And so that cube is squaring the circle, but the Kaaba comes from the concept of the Tefillin cube. And the Tefillin cube has a 3-pronged shin on its right side. Now remember that 3 relates to the circle, the area of a circle. And on the other side of the tefillin, there's a 4-pronged shin. Now remember, 4 relates to the square. So what we have is a squaring of the circle. The relationship between 3 to 4. And it's in a box, so to speak, where the scrolls are, rolled around a little bit inside round, and there are 4 components here, compartments in the head tefillin. So here's a 3 and a 4. So when you put this on, you're squaring the circle. You see? Your life is squaring the circle when you put this on. See? So when they ask you how to square the circle, put on tefillin. Okay? Now, I have some very beautiful things here about, pi and stuff like that. Because if you want to do pi as 3.14, then the difference is 0.86 between 3.14 to 4. And 86 is the gematria of Elohim. But then I have a beautiful thing about the dalet in the back of the tefillin. And the dalet in the back of tefillin, in the one I use, is a square. So this is even more so of the square, because you're squaring the circle of the head. So the dalet actually is a square of the circle of the head. See? The keta is a crown, see, that the strap makes. And so the dalet in the back of the head is a square of that. And the dalet in the back of the head, when they say, there's room on the head for 2 tefillins, there's also room on the head for 2 crowns. You see? And that's why some religious people wear a hat on top of a yarmulke, because that hat represents the square, and some people wear a square hat, that surrounds the round of the skull, or what they call a skull cap, also around. But the dalet in the back has a very interesting gematria that I came up with today, because usually people, they don't express that dalet in its fullness. They express the dalet as, 4, or they have it as a 4 times 4, you see, because there's 2 dalets, which comes to 16, and 16 can be, 16,000 amos deep, and Yud times Yud plus Vav, the 2 male numbers. But I've done today, first time in my life, I did the full spelling of dalet, and that's 434. Dalet Lamed Tov. It's 434. And then I realized something, 434, and I said, well, what number would I add to that? I could add 32 to make 466. That's nice too. 460, you see? That's why I do this, because I verbalize. If I add 32, I get 466, which is Yud, by the way. But if I add 232, which is the Yud Hey Vav Hey fully spelt out. Remember that the difference between the 3 and the 4, if you count pi as 3.14, is 86. Well, here I'm adding the full Yud Hey Vav Hey, full divine name of 72, 63, 45, and 52, the 4 spellings of that, is 232. And if I add to the dalet, which is 434, I add 232, I get 666, which I will be expressing in the next video of what I found after that and how I was led into this. But 666 is also always a propitious number, because it's considered a negative, evil number. But it's a great depth, and it's strangely enough associated with the dalet in the back of the head. You see? And so what does that really open up into, and what opens up for you when you get into that level? But for now, I just wanted to show the 3-pronged tefillin as the circle, the 4-pronged tefillin as the square, and it's really the squaring the circle, you see. So if you want to square the circle, you'll put on tefillin.